Hey guys, it's Emily, and today we're going to be planning my January TBR together. So I'm typically not one to prepare monthly TBRs, but since 2021 was such a crap reading year for me, I hit multiple reading slumps, and overall I just don't feel like it was my best reading year. I thought that this year we would change things up a little bit and try preparing monthly TBRs. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stick to this. Like I said, this is the first time for me that I'm actually doing this. I haven't really done TBRs in the past aside from readathons, so I don't know how closely I'll be able to stick to this because I am typically much more of a mood reader, but since last year was just chaotic all around, I really want this year to be different and make sure that I'm reading everything that I want to read and that I'm prioritizing the right books, if that makes sense. So I thought that I would do this in kind of a vlog format where I'm going to be taking you guys along my TBR process, I guess, like how I'm choosing my books for the month of January. I will be aiming to read 8 books this month. I think I would like to have my TBRs be between 5 and 8 books every month, just so that I can still give myself a little bit of wiggle room to read like other books if I want to, because I'm still a mood reader and I think I need to adjust a little bit. So every month we're going to be picking together between 5 and 8, maybe more depending on my mood and if I have lots of books to read that month. But as a whole, I think for this month we're going to be sticking to 8 books because if I want to read 100 books in a year, which is my goal for this year, I thought I would make sure to read at the very least 8 books, which is what I think I would need to read every month in order to read 100 by the end of the year. So I don't know if I'm making sense, I don't know if I'm rambling, but basically we're just going to be kicking things off and start planning this month's TBR. So we're going to be kicking things off with my TBR 0 project. So my goal for this year, my main goal for this year should I say, is to get my physical TBR to 0. Is that possible? We'll see, but I do want to make an active step, I guess, or like make sure that I'm actively working on that. And in order to help me reach my goal, I've made up a list of prompts to help me pick up books from my physical TBR. So we're going to be using a random number generator to go through the 52 prompts I think that I have here. It's kind of like a TBR jar, but I was too lazy to actually like make the jar and print out or write out everything. So I just decided to type it up in a Word document, and we're going to be using a random number generator in order to choose our first prompt. All right, so here is our random number generator. I have entered the amount of prompts that I have, and we're going to generate to see our number. It's 41. So here's my document. 41 is read a book set in the past. All right, so right off the bat, that's kind of difficult. I do have a couple of titles in mind though, but I don't know if there's any that I'm in the mood to read right now. But wait a second. I think I have the perfect book for this prompt. Midnight in Everwood by M.A. Kuzniar. So this was one of my most anticipated releases of 2021, but because of a problem with my order, I received my book a little bit later than I had anticipated, and so I didn't get to read it in time for Christmas or even like the new year. So I am going to carry this book out into January, and I do believe this one takes place in the past. Here it says Nottingham 1906, so I think this is going to be perfect. Alright, so that was book number 1 on the TBR for this month. Now, another thing that I would really like to work on this year is making sure that I increase my goal on NetGalley, meaning that I read the arcs that I actually get granted by publishers. So this month I have 2 that are coming out that I'm actually quite excited about. So we're going to be picking at least one on the TBR. Ideally, I would like to read both of them. Both of them are coming out in January, and so I would like to make sure to read them in time for publication, but we'll see. I do want to make sure that at least I read one of them. So let's see which one sounds the most promising. So let's move over to my NetGalley shelf. So the first one that I have here is Weather Girl by Rachel Lynn Solomon. So this one says a TV meteorologist and a sports reporter scheme to reunite their divorced bosses with unforecasted results in this electrifying romance from the author of The X Talk. So this one to me kind of sounds like this Netflix movie called Set It Up, where like 2 assistants work together to get their bosses to date. So I am very excited for this, but the other one that I have on my shelf also sounds very intriguing, and it is The Roughest Draft by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund-Broca. So I do love this author duo. They write a lot of YA contemporaries, and I think this is their first adult romance. This one says, they were co-writing literary darlings until they hit a plot hole that turned their lives upside down. So I think we're talking about 2 authors here who used to be writing together, but then they kind of drifted apart, and now they have to write this new book together. And and it's kind of a second chance romance and whatnot. I love the cover for this. So I don't know. I am really into both of them. But if I'm being honest, I think The Roughest Draft is the one that we're going to be adding to our list for this month, though I will also try to get to Weather Girl. By the way, Weather Girl comes out on January 11th and The Roughest Draft comes out on January 25th. So if you guys are interested in those, they are going to be coming out very soon. Alright, so the last challenge that we have to pick a book for is buzzwordathon. So I am hoping to participate in buzzwordathon this year. This is a reading challenge that is hosted by Books and Lala. Basically, it used to be a readathon and now she's turned this into a reading challenge. So every month there's a prompt and we have to read a book that fits this buzzword. So for January, let's see what it is. Ooh, interesting. The 5 W's. So that's who, what, when, where, why, I'm thinking. So I don't know if I have anything that fits that. So let me see on my physical TBR if there's anything that would fit this challenge. And if not, we'll choose something from another month that would work for me. So let's just see first if I have anything that works. Alright, so as far as I can tell, I don't have anything on my shelves that would fit this prompt. So I think we're gonna have to move on to something else. I don't know which one though, because all of the challenges sound very interesting. There's pronouns and possessive, that could be something. That's February though. March is locations, and I do have quite a few books around the world titles that I haven't gotten around to, so it could be that. I'm thinking that might be a good idea because I have not been working on books around the world as much as I should have this year. So let's see, is there anything else? Book related word. That could also be interesting. Okay, so let me go peruse my shelves. We're gonna move on to the next segment, which is for me to just pick out books that I'm interested in, and I'll try to keep those challenges in mind and see if anything would fit that. So I'll get back to that because I need to think about it a little bit. But first and foremost, I think I'm just gonna go through my shelves and just get out anything that I would be interested in reading in January. So let's do that. Okay, so I've pulled out some books from my shelves, some of which would work for the buzzwordathon challenge. Some of them are just books that I would like to get to at some point this month. And I'm going to go over the pile with you guys and we'll decide which ones I am actually going to be reading and the ones that I'm not. Alright, so first I have The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is one of the most hyped up YA mystery series of the moment, and I've been really meaning to read this. I haven't gotten around to it in 2021, so I thought I would try it for 2022. It's also on my list of books to read in 2022, which I know I haven't filmed this video yet, but it should be coming out your way very soon. So yeah, I think this one would be a great choice for now. I also have A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Bridget Carroll. This is the third book in the Cursebreakers trilogy, and I don't know, I kind of want to read this. I really love fairy tale retellings during the winter time, so I think this would be a great read, and also it would finish a series, which would also mean that I'm working towards my goal of finishing series. I also have Arch Enemies by Marissa Meyer. It's actually been a while since I've read the first book, and I didn't love the first book in the trilogy. This is a sequel, but I don't know, I've been kind of in the mood to read this recently, so I thought I would add it to the pile, and I kind of want to continue the series to see if I want to DNF the series or if I am going to finish it, so I need to eventually read this one. Then I have The Gilded Wolves by Rush Roshni Chokshi. So this would be a read for me, but to be honest, I don't know if I want to continue the series or if I just want to unhaul this book, because when I first read it, I did really like it. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, but then the hype died down and a lot of people started hating on the book, and it kind of made me rethink my initial rating, and now I don't really know where I stand anymore. So I kind of want to reread this and see if I like it more the second time around, if I want to continue with the series, or if I'm just gonna unhaul it. I also have The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. I've been wanting to read this for a while, and I know this is a really popular book, so I do want to give it a try. Then I have We Hunt the Flame by Afza Faisal. This one would work great for the buzzwordathon challenge of, I think it's light and dark, because there's the word flame in the title. I already started reading this a while back, but I never finished it because of time issues, but this one has been on my shelves for a while, so I thought I would check it out. I also have Murder Most Unladylike by Robin Stevens. This one is a YA, no, not a YA, a middle grade mystery, so I think I might enjoy this. Then I have The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This is a very popular book that I really want to read. It's also on my list of books to read in 2022, so hopefully I can get around to it soon. I have Pages & Co. Book 4, which is The Book Smugglers by Anna James. This one would work great for the buzzwordathon challenge of reading a book that has a book related word in the title. And talking about that, I also have The Bookshop on the Shore by Jenny Colgan. This is a companion novel to one of my favorite books of 2020, which was The Bookshop on the Corner, so this would be a great pick as well. So I need to think about it a little bit. I think I'm gonna go get a cup of tea, refill my water bottle, and think about my TBR for a bit, and then I'll get back to you guys with my final choices for January. Alright, so I have my cup of tea. I'm gonna let it cool for a bit because it's still piping hot. And I also have decided on my TBR pile for the month of January, and I'm quite excited, to be completely honest. So first off, we have Midnight in Everwood by M.A. Kuzniar. I am so excited to read this. It's a Nutcracker retelling. I was hoping to read it in December, but I'm carrying it out into January. Next up, I have The Roughest Draft by Emily Wibberley and Austin Sigmund Broca. This is the arc that I'm hoping to read this month, and this one comes out on January 25th. I don't have to read it before that date, but if I can, that would be great. If not, if I read it at some point in January, that would also be amazing. Up next, I am also adding a mystery thriller that I have yet to receive in the mail. It has been purchased, but I have not received it yet. I should get it early January, and that's The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. So this one is a mystery thriller that's set in a cabin in the woods, and I'm quite excited. It's supposed to be very snowy, perfect for the winter time. I did really enjoy reading the guest list by Lucy Foley, so I thought I would check out this one. I also have The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This is one that I'm very excited about because it has received a lot of hype in 2020 specifically, I think. Even in 2021, it did continue to get some hype, but I think 2020 was a year that everyone and their mother would read this and love this, so I am very excited to finally give this one a try. For Buzzwordathon, I did end up choosing the September challenge, which was light or dark, and I went with We Hunt the Flame by Afza Faisal. I chose this one because I have been meaning to read this for quite some time, and I've already started this. Like I said before, I've read the first 30 pages or so, and I remember really liking it. I just never really finished it because of time issues, I guess, but now I am really looking forward to reading it, and yeah, I'm in love with this cover as well, and it's a signed copy. So I'm just very excited to read this one finally. I've also decided to add The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. As I said, this is very popular, and it's supposed to be kind of this, not a retelling, but it has Knives Out vibes. I've also seen this compared to Cinderella, which I'm quite curious about, but I am looking forward to reading it, and I think the third book and like the conclusion to the series comes out this year, so might as well start it now. I have also decided to add A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Bridget Kemmerer because I do love this series, and this is the conclusion to the trilogy. I do tend to enjoy reading fairy tale retellings more during the winter time, so I thought I would add this one to my list. It's a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, and I read the first one in February, I think, of last year, and I really liked it, so I think I'm going to try to read this during the winter time, and January seems like the best of times to do that. And finally, I have decided to add a reread, and this one is The Gilded Wolves by Roshni Chokshi. I just want to made up my mind already about this book, and since the initial time that I read it, the hype has died down quite a bit, but I have seen a couple of people read it more recently and enjoy it, and it's kind of made me wonder, like, do I still like this book? Do I not? Like, how do I feel about this? Do I want to continue the series? Do I get rid of this book? What do I do with it, basically? So we're gonna give this one another shot, and hopefully I will be on the side that loves it, but maybe I won't, and that's okay too, so we'll see. I did want to mention another book that I'm currently in the middle of, and I hope I'll finish it by the time January comes, so this might not be on my actual TBR, but since I'm filming this on December 30th, and I don't think I'll be able to finish this one by the new year, I have a feeling I'll have to carry it out in January, so I'll talk about it. It's Inkheart by Cornelia Funk. So this is a reread for me, and I have about 200 pages, a little bit less than that, left to read. So I am including it here just in case I do not manage to finish it by the end of the year. But yeah, I have a feeling that I have to read this in January as well, so just thought that I would throw it out there, but maybe I won't even have to add it to my TBR. I guess we'll see. So that is it for my January TBR. I'm quite happy with the stack of books that I have picked. I hope I will like all of them, and like I said, I might throw around a few extra books. We'll see if I have the time, but those are the 8 that I would like to prioritize. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this format. I know this is kind of a different way of doing videos like this. I know Emma and the Book Leo do them, and I do enjoy watching them, so let me know if you guys would like a more traditional TBR, or if you like the vlog style like process format that I have thrown together for this one. Let me know what you guys will be reading in January in the comments down below, and I guess that's it, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!